All right, welcome back, everyone. Season 2 of the Mac Marches. We are back. Really excited to be doing this again. Thanks to Steve and the rest of the Castle Mac crew for allowing us to play in their sandbox. Tonight we've got Shannon and Sean and Adam and Wiley. 2 level 3 characters, a level 2 character, and a level 1 character, combining forces on this on this trek out of Luskan. So, real quick, we're kind of shifting some things around. The last game of Season 1 was a rescue mission to get Velrook out of the brig, so to speak. She was locked up after being captured. There was a huge situation where Wayland was trying to get the caravan into the city, but forces were trying to keep him. Certain forces were trying to keep him out. After getting Velrook out, information was learned that Wayland was able to take and say, "Hey, you need to let us in. We know what was going on." The caravan was allowed in. Everyone was brought in. Everyone was allowed time to heal, and clerics were sent out to take care of the really sick people. And everyone was able to resupply and kind of like get back to normal. So probably like a solid 10 days to 2 weeks was spent in Luskan, just getting everybody back in shape. Where we're picking up. So we are picking up where everyone has left Luskan. The caravan has departed, and we're probably like 2 days out on the Northern Means Trail toward Frostvarden. We're going to take our trip up further and further north. So you've still got a little ways to go. We're going to eventually catch a road, tee into a road where you can go to 10 Towns to the north or Fireshear to the south. And you're going to go north and make your way up further into close to the spine of the world. So that is where we pick up tonight. And here we go. Welcome to Mac Marches Season 2. So you guys are all out in your wagons. Everyone's kind of been dispersed from their original wagons. So what originally were groups have all just kind of like recongregated in what people have like kind of become friends along the way. So what your original wagon was may not be the wagon you're in now. You guys have all been put together in wagon 37 and making your trek up. The temperature, you'll note, has dropped significantly the further north you go. Since you've left Luskan, it's probably dropped a solid 10 degrees Fahrenheit, and there's snow on the ground. It's pretty cold. The air is crisp. The storm has passed. There was a storm, dropped probably 3 or 4 inches of snow. And you're just following the trail in front of you. The wagons are leaving a nice single track or dual track through the snow. This is no longer a road. This is now a legitimate trail. There is no further road that goes this far north. Once you hit Luskan, that's basically it. So you guys are kind of like breaking ground. And you've been re-put together. Wayland, after he fired Hogrina, didn't fire her. After he demoted Hogrina, she no longer had anything to do with day-to-day. And he kind of took over again and has reassigned everyone based on what he deemed his need. Cole and Brand, you two specifically, because of your role in the rescue mission, he's kind of let you take less experienced adventurers under your wing, so to speak, and people that he has deemed he wants to see to experience some good growth, to have positive examples. So he's put you two in this wagon with Mirdavar and Tobias, and that's where we're going to pick up. So the 4 of you in your wagon driver going. It's probably about 8 a.m. You broke camp about 30-45 minutes ago, and you've been traveling up. And it's just a pretty nice day. Not very many clouds out, and it's cold, but it's nice.
the only winning point.
The winning goal, yes, indeed. The winning.
Yeah.
Yes. How can I forget? Tobias.
Other hairs as well can yield a nice strong pull, and so you don't want it to snap on you.
Of course not. Yes, a secret recipe, if you will. Lovely.
My goodness, how long are you going to talk about strain? It's been hours and all I've heard is strain, 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 strain.
Well,
I'm going insane.
a good bow isn't as good as long as you got a good string. You got yourself a good bow.
Well, I have a stick.
Well said, Tobias.
It has a sharp end on it, and it can kill pretty much anything. And it doesn't need string.
It's just as well you're fast enough to run up and get those things. Then arrow shot from a distance, very handy, but obviously
Yes.
if you're quick on your feet, that can be useful as well.
And also an arrow shot from a distance, and when you can't see where the arrow came from, that will get you out of any situation.
I'll pat the rapier at my side. Yet nothing feels as good as a good bit of steel in the hand, though.
Oh,
Pull it out, little flare, back in.
I could certainly agree. Tobias reaches over his shoulder, pulls out two short swords, does a little twirl in his flare. It's like, no, I keep these for close encounters.
Nice blades, indeed.
It's good to know my wagon mates are well equipped.
Why do I feel like this has turned into a dick measuring contest?
And at that, you hear the wagon driver like kind of pipe. You can't quite see it because the curtain is down from the front, and you hear him pipe back. You go, "What? Dick measuring? No one told me about that." And like you start to feel the wagon slow down a little bit. He's like, "Let me show you what I'm talking about."
Moving. Keep the wagon moving, lad. No one's interested in.
That won't be necessary.
Okay, and you like feel it pick up speed again.
Well, that was a
Nicely done, Cole.
I suppose. And he's like, "Now when we get to camp next, if you come around, I'll show you something."
I don't want
I'll
to
be
see anything of that kind.
sure to take that in. Yes.
You kids. He's like an old dwarf, and he's just grumpy and he's just old. He's like the typical old guy who just talks and doesn't care what he says.
I'll look at the my mates in the cart and just like mouth the words like, "How big can it be? He's a dwarf."
I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
Yes, I'm with Cole on this.
Yeah, there's some images best not to dwell on and think about, so I think we should leave it there.
Not my cup of tea, let's just put it that way.
So,
Would anyone care to join me in a smoke? I would pull out my pipe and a bag of pipe weed.
None for me, thank you.
Hey, it's
Cool.
I smoke enough, thanks. And I'm like sort of
Okay.
smoldering to keep myself warm at this point.
I see. Tobias.
I'll join you there, sir. It's always
All right.
good bit of a pipe weed can always be a helpful to pass these long, boring, tedious trips.
Indeed, couldn't agree more. Good friend, well met. And I'll pack my pipe and pass the bag over to him.
Tobias pulls out of his bag a pipe that he's had with him since his days as a scout in the water deep army. So, I thank you, sir. Cole.
Anytime.
You mind doing the pleasures of lighting it?
Jeez, this doesn't get old, and I just sort of flip my fingers and use my thumb that's lit on fire to light his pipe for him.
That is quite an impressive party trick.
Ow!
Yeah.
Oh, B, please, me as well. I'll lean in.
I light my middle finger on fire.
Ah,
Nice.
lovely. Yes. Always the
Much
sense of humor.
appreciated, man. So, now, does anybody has Wayland said where we are? Where we are? I know we are heading to Frost Runner, but we have any idea what we have in front of us on this road here?
I'm afraid this is as far north as I've ever come.
So Colenbrand, he's spoken to the two of you, and he's told you both that you're going to follow this trail up. It's going to eventually tee. The trail then breaks kind of like north and south effectively. South goes to the coast to Fireshire, and north goes to Hundlestone on its way to 10 Towns. And you guys are going to be breaking to the right and going north. But it's just more of this kind of trail what you're experiencing here. It's going to get colder, the weather's going to get more difficult, and the trail is going to continue to not deteriorate, but just be difficult.
Just DM question.
Yeah.
What kind of terrain are we in?
So right now it's kind of like it would, if it wasn't frozen, it would be grasslands. There's a few trees here and there, and you're going to go through patches of trees, whatnot. But it's mostly it's hilly, and it's at the foothills of as you get closer to the spine of the world and the mountains there. But you're kind of like coming off. Your Luskan was on the coast effectively, so you're making your way a little bit ways away from the coast, but you're going to start following it, paralleling it. I don't know, maybe like 20, 30, 40 miles off the coast. So you're starting to get a little bit of elevation, but it's mostly like scrub brush and some low-lying trees and stuff like that.
So not quite mountains yet?
No.
Okay.
No, you won't see mountains until you probably get to Hundlestone. Or unless you just cut off the trail and made your way for a while.
All right.
Yes, I think we're in for more of the same for quite a while.
Yeah, you'll cross a river in a couple of days, but that's really the only. It's going to be like this for a while. So
Not much to look at, really.
No, not at all. It's very white. It's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
As Tobias is like, yeah, I haven't seen this much snow since that one time I was came upon a young Ramores terrorizing the village. They hired me to help him out, take care of it, and boy, that little sucker was hot to touch, and but he was very nasty too. Definitely don't want to run into any of those.
I've heard they can be quite fearsome.
Shows he pulls up his sleeve and he shows like this burn scar on his arm. It's like, yeah, it's like got a little too close to it, and that's why I prefer my arrows, because keep my distance, because that blood, no. Cole might be able to wrangle one and go fist to fist, but yeah, unless you got nice sturdy leather gloves, I would best keep your distance.
Well, I'm certainly glad you fared well and came out on top of that. It sounds awful.
Well, it was like I said, it was definitely an adventure, and it was definitely worth the pay.
So it's you guys continue along like this for a while, and you eventually stop around lunchtime, and wagons kind of pull off to the side, and everyone pops out and starts setting up campfires and cooking and baking whatever provisions that they have brought with them, starting with some of the stuff that they had brought before you made it to Luskan, trying to save some of the fresher stuff for later. Sun's high in the sky, clouds have kind of burned off, and when the sun reflects off snow and it gets that really bright sort of thing. So wherever you look out, with the sun coming down like that, there's just this brilliant sheer coming off of it, and it makes it kind of difficult to look around. And you see Wayland has set, he's a little more careful now, and he's set out like patrols and scouts going around. So you see people going up and down the line, and even further out, you Tobias, being a ranger, spot further in the distance people out away from the trail, kind of sweeping, going around and checking stuff. Breaks down from lunch and right back at it, like another several hour trek along this trail, and it's just arduous, and there's really nothing to look at, and you hear, like, in the periods of quiet where you guys aren't talking, you're just kind of listening, you can hear the wagon in front of you and behind you, and like you chuckle from some of the conversations going on. A couple people are talking about how big, their wives and husbands are, and how much they can lift or carry, or how many, like tall tales of how many goblins they've killed. And it's that typical just trying to fill time with stories and bragging and those fun sort of tall tales. Occasionally, at one point, you heard in the wagon in front of you, like almost a fight break out. Like somebody was calling someone else out on what they perceived to be a lie, and it got almost to fisticuffs, probably. Like you noticed that your wagon slowed down and came to a stop for a second, and some shenanigans may have been going on in front of you. You're not quite sure yet. Picked back up and you made your way. And you continue like that until it starts to get dark, and you slow down again, and it's probably at this point about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It's you're really far north, so it's getting dark, and it's time to make camp. So you pull off. It's time to make camp. You guys go ahead and start setting up camp, and I'll let you guys go from there.
Yep. Yeah, Mirdavar will definitely hop out, stretch his legs, and begin to help set up camp. Maybe go in search of some firewood, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Tobias would hop out, and he'll definitely search for some firewood, but at the same time, kind of do a small patrol himself. Get himself a lay of the land. To make sure knows every ins and outs. What could potentially come up, where something could come up, and basically try to keep any surprises to a minimum.
Sure. So you've pulled off to the right side of the road, which is the north side of the road, and to your right, to the north, you've got probably a solid, in places, foot of snow at its deepest, and maybe 4 inches at its shallowest. And it's kind of that crunchy snow. It's not the stuff that packs really well, because it's gotten really cold at night, so it kind of freezes over a little bit and it doesn't pack well. It's that crunchy, brittle stuff. And you notice that you can see out a little bit, and you see some lower trees, evergreens, obviously, being this far north, and some scrub brush, and there's no streams or anything like that. It's pretty much the same of what you've been seeing. It's picture the desert but make it snow. It's a winter desert.
Yeah, so I'll go out and gather some wood. I'll have my pipe going, just trying to keep warm in my heavy dark blue cloak, leather armor, high boots, all that jazz.
And you see everybody else basically doing the same thing. All the wagons are kind of sending a couple people out, and a couple people are staying back and setting up, and yeah.
We kind of set up some tents, and then spend some time, much like Mirdavar, stretching and getting into a few kind of practice combat routines and things after being cramped up in the wagon all day.
I'm gonna get out, wander around, and look for someone to fight because I'm so bored. I'm just gonna go around, start saying snide little comments to people, seeing who'll Go pick up and want to tussle.
Brand definitely would have offered to
there we
spar.
There we go.
No, that's not her style.
Yeah, fair enough. I figure you wanted something a bit more real.
Okay.
I think he definitely offered.
So Cole, remembering what you heard in the wagon in front of you, you're pretty sure you could probably pick a fight with someone from that wagon. You're not quite sure who, but you're pretty confident you could probably do that.
I'm gonna saunter on up to that group and just kind of be pretty straightforward with it. It's just like, heard one of you guys wanted to start a fight earlier. Are you too weak to go through with it, or what's the deal? Why didn't you come to blows?
And these two humans, one female, one male, both turn, and they both look at you, and the male's probably like late 20s, early 30s, and the female's probably like mid 20s, late 20s, and both like jet black hair, dark eyes, dressed in almost identically, like blue capes, leather armor, studded, and short swords, and like high boots up over the knee, like almost like riding boots, but kind of, like they've been built a little bit more for a combat way, like they could run on them and not struggle, so they could both ride and walk at the, do both okay. They both turn to you and go, what are you talking about?
I heard a fight going on. I heard a scuffle, but I never saw anything come to blows. Just curious as to why all chickened out.
They both turn and they look at each other, and they smile, and both of them, they kiss. And it says, "Honey, do you want to do this?"
I got nothing better to do.
No, they say that to each other.
Oh, okay.
You quickly figure out that they're a couple, and they kind of laugh and say, we could use a good scuffle. We've got some energy to burn. What say you? And they kind of look you up and down. Would you like to try taking us both on?
Oh, threesomes are never usually my thing, but it has been a long day. Why not?
Well, you run your mouth a lot, so figured you'd want to maybe throw some fists. I know we could both throw some fists. They crack their head and get their fingers out and take their sword belts off, and
Yeah, I just kind of say, I'm like, yeah, my mouth can do a lot of things, and I wink at the girl.
and she just kind of looks at you and she's like, "Not my cup of tea, honey."
I'm everyone's cup of tea.
She goes, "Oh, maybe not me." Anyhow, they take their armor off, like they're down to just clothing. Like, if it's gonna be a fair fight, we'll make it a fair fight. And they like get their Mr. Miyagi hands going, and they warm their hands up and crack, and they go, "All right, here we go." And they kind of fan out and catch you on the periphery. They're not in line, they're not next to each other, they're like 45 degrees off center on each side of you. And they're kind of shifting back and forth, and they're like leaning in and jabbing and like feigning and ready to go. And as you're looking at the woman, the guy comes in just with a right cross. I'm just gonna manually roll all this because it's more fun that way.
Alright.
All right. Does a 13 hit you?
Just hits.
All right. So you take 3 damage off that. So he comes in through with this right and just catches you like right into the cheek, through the jaw, and down. And you like turn your head, and as you come back up, you see a leg sweeping toward your face. And I'm pretty sure 19 hits you.
That'll hit.
And you take 2 damage off that.
Dokie.
So you come down to the right, and as you pick your head back up, like fists coming back up to try to protect yourself, wham, you take it on the left side, like right in the high cheekbone, and then you turn. Now it's your turn.
All right.
And they both kind of laugh, and they're like doing that like bounce thing. They're honey, this is more fun than I thought it was gonna be.
Pet names. I'm gonna go for the dude, go low, and try to suplex him.
Okay. Okay.
So, strength.
Yeah. Just give me or athletics, whatever. Give me an athletics. That's fine.
All right.
It's probably better with athletics.
Yes. Why did it no roll? I clicked it. There we go.
So 17. Yeah, you're able to go in and you wrap, and you just like you go low. You kind of you feint. You go low. You grab and you just boom, slam this dude right down on like his shoulders and neck. Go ahead and roll damage.
Nice. What would damage be for that?
Just 1d4.
All right. Oh, bummer.
He hit a really cushy part of snow. And yeah, so he's prone now though. So you've got him prone. All right. So as you do that, he like rolls and gets back up, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be more fun than I thought it was." And he comes back, and he does this thing where he acts like he's gonna right cross again, but as he leans back and brings his fist up, he actually throws like a front kick at you. And pretty sure 10 does not hit you.
Nope.
You read the feint, your monastic training. You read the fake throw, and you're able to like dodge out of the way and miss the kick. As you do that, she comes in and she leads with a knee. It's almost like she took a couple steps back and came in with like a flying knee. I'm pretty sure that's a crit.
That'll hit.
That's a crit. So take 6 damage off that.
All right.
Right to the
At what point might I notice this is happening?
Oh yeah, like you guys are.
And so forth.
Yeah, I guess,
Tobias, you're coming back in from like foraging. Both of you and Mirdavar are coming back in from looking for wood. Brand, you're just kind of sitting there smiling, like you know what's happening.
I'm a little bit too focused in like one of my katas, and just like going through the motions, all the stances and stuff, and like just super focused.
Right.
That I don't even realize that this is going on.
But yeah, you Tobias, you and Mirdavar come back in, and you see Cole just throwing down with these two people.
I'll look at Tobias and shrug. Hey, we've gone long enough. We were hardly gone a moment.
Yeah. She always seems to be itching for a fight. I remember she was kind of like that when we took down that hill giant. And,
Yeah.
But she's quite handy with her fist and feet, so she can pull herself through. But let's go.
I'm confident she'll hold her own against these two scripts.
Oh yeah, she will. Let's go put down this wood and go watch. So,
Yeah, agreed.
And
I'll
you'll
say it loud enough that they can hear me.
and they hear you, and you see that the two other people from their wagon have gone and spoken to the wagon in front of their wagon, and like a crowd's starting to come up, and one's coming up from the back as well.
Fight.
It's not like that. It's people are just kind of like ready to blow off some steam. You've been stuck in Luskan for a while. You've been on the road. Everyone's kind of uptight.
Quite close.
Yeah, kind of. And you notice, like, there's no chanting. Everyone's kind of like cheering and like calling and like calling stuff out. And of course, what comes next is the bets. People start betting, and naturally, like, people are coming up. Hey, I've got like 3-2 on the couple, and then you hear a couple coming back and like, no, I've got like 6-1 on the Genasi. And odds are being thrown out, and different people are throwing out different odds, and there's just money being sent back and forth, and all sorts of stuff like that ruckus that comes with a fight and betting is happening. And
I think if that kind of thing is breaking out, that would definitely
yeah,
get Brand's attention. Enough noise.
like people are coming up like chewing on food, just like drinking and watching. It's entertainment. It's fun for everyone.
Like, what's going on over here? Just kind of make my way through the crowd to see what's happening as well.
And as you do, Brand, you come up and you see Cole with these two, and she just got kneed, like right to the chin, and there's blood dripping down her mouth a little bit, and she like picks herself up, and it's your turn, Cole.
I look at my friends. I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm making friends." And I'm gonna try.
Well done as always.
Can I try to do a helicopter kick and get both of them?
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead and roll me an acrobatics followed by an athletics.
Boom and boom.
I'm gonna find the bookmaker and put 10 gold on the Genasi.
Okay. So you find a guy, and he's giving you 4-1 on the couple. So you're on the downside on this bet. So your 10 would be 40 should Cole win.
Yep.
All right.
I'll take that. Thank you very much, kind sir.
And it's this little halfling, and he's kind of like this greasy looking little dude, and he's just you can like he's not even with the adventuring crew. You're not quite sure where he came from, if he's like a quartermaster or a chef or like a wagon driver, but he does not look like he is one of the adventurers.
I plunk the gold. I show him the gold. The purse is nowhere to be seen. Just the gold is in my hand.
And he like,
being a city elf of the rogue variety, I know what I'm up against with this guy. So
and he looks at you and he's like, yeah, definitely 4-1. Yes. And he like,
very well. Thank you, sir. I'll take those off.
And he runs his hands through his hair, and it's just greasy and kind of nasty. And he like goes to the next guy, and as you do that, you see like as you make your bet, and he takes it and writes it down. You see Cole do this helicopter kick and just catch both of them right in the jaw. Yeah. Roll your damage. Sorry, I'm not rolling your damage. You go ahead and roll your damage. Just yeah.
We can do your damage. It's fine.
We'll roll twice because you hit each one.
Right. Yeah, no, we can take your damage.
Man,
these guys are sturdy.
just setting him up.
Come now, Cole. There may be two of them, but there's no reason for you to hold back.
So you do this ridiculously beautiful like helicopter kick maneuver, and you catch one, you land, you bounce back up, you sweep, you catch the other one on the chin, and they both like look at you and they go, "That's all you've got?" And they smile, and then they spread out now directly on either side of you, and they're fainting. So you're constantly having to like check and try to reposition and do what you want.
I'm gonna use one of my key points as a bonus action to do patient defense.
Okay. So you kind of like focus for a second and harness your key and open your eyes and you're ready. And as you do that, the guy comes in. Like she faints. Like as your turn to look at her, she faints with an attack, and you turn back and you see him coming at you to like tackle you. Let's see. He gets you. What was that about me rolling 20s and blowing all my 20s? Yeah.
Shush.
Yeah.
Shush.
You shouldn't have said anything.
There's another one.
They'll have disadvantage from the patient defense, though.
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
That
He's
is
been a
true.
key point for a reason.
He rolls another
I mean-
20.
At 18, I'm pretty sure an 18 still hits you.
Yeah.
So he tackles you and he wraps you up right around the waist and just drives you into the ground. It doesn't really do any damage. He wasn't trying to do damage with this. He's trying to get you down so that she can land. She can make an attack on you. And as he gets you down, you see her come in with an elbow, and she's just coming in to drive it in right into your face. You get the impression that, like, all of you get the impression that this is a really dysfunctional couple, and they probably beat the crap out of each other on a fairly regular basis. That this probably isn't something too out of the ordinary for them. So she comes at you. She's going to have advantage because you are wrapped up, but I don't think a 10 hits you.
Like Bonnie and Clyde.
As you're rolling back and forth trying to break free, she can't quite land, and she comes elbow down right into the dirt next to your head. And it's your turn.
All right. As the guy has me grabbed around the waist, I'm gonna wrap my legs around his waist and use my body to flip and throw him into her.
Okay. Normally you'd be at disadvantage because you are grappled, but because this is a cool attempt, I'm going to just negate that and
Nice.
just a regular roll. So just roll athletics.
Damn it.
12. You're able to get him off, but you don't quite throw him with enough force to like knock her down or do any damage. He like kind of rolls off over, like you pick him up and you roll him, but it doesn't do any damage. But you're able to like then roll back up and get ready, and they're next to each other now.
All right.
Anything with a bonus action?
I'm gonna spend a key point to do flurry of blows on the guy.
Okay.
So unarmed strike. Boom. Ah.
Actually, it's going to hit. He took his armor off, so that's going to hit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Better than a 1.
So you
Nice.
you pop him. You then roll back, like pop yourself up, come back, and just like almost Superman punch this dude right in the jaw, and he crumples down to one knee.
All right, and since I have the open hand technique and it landed, he has to make a dex saving throw of 11, or he
Okay.
falls prone. Ah, damn.
He catches himself like on his knee with one hand down. He catches himself. So it is now. Let's see. It is going to be his turn. So he wipes the blood off his mouth, and his wife comes by and she like wipes the blood off his mouth too, and she says, "Should we do it? Should we try it?" And he looks at her and he says, "Yeah." And they start to approach you, and very quickly they lock hands and try to clothesline you.
Oh, I'm gonna. Let's see. What can I do? I'm gonna.
They're gonna get their attack first.
I was gonna say I don't have a reaction or
No.
anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
So they're able to, they lock hands and just come right at you, and they don't catch you in the throat, they catch you in the chest, and it just, I need you to make a dex save or be knocked prone. Yeah, you make it. So what you actually do with this is kind of cool. So as they come through, they take you and it knocks you off, but you're able to flip over backwards and you land on your feet.
Nice.
That was both their turn. It is now your turn.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, go on, Cole. Put them out of their misery.
Stop having so much faith in me, guys. I'm just gonna.
I feel like we're watching a really interesting rendition of The Karate Kid,
I'm gonna run at the dude,
Part 3.
and I'm gonna look like I'm gonna punch him in the face, but I'm really gonna spin and go for a high kick in his girlfriend's face.
Okay.
So, unarmed strike. Damn it.
No. He reads it, and she reads it, and they both faint out of the way. And as your foot passes, and you land back down, you see Waylon. The rest of you see Waylon come up, and he's like, "Hey, what now is going on here? A little bit of sport, perhaps?"
A little bit of sport.
Whoa, I didn't hear any of that. You all talked at the same time.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I say 4-1 odds, Captain, and I'll kind of flick my gold in the air and catch it.
Well, I hate to be as much as I enjoy a good amount of sport and some blood to be drawn, we are all on the same mission here, and we can't have anyone getting too bloodied. And he walks into the circle, and he says, "As much as I would like to let this continue, I am unfortunately going to have to ask the three of you to cease. Rest up, heal up what you can, and put your energy toward getting your camp squared away and making sure that nothing dangerous gets to our wagon line." And he kind of looks around, and he sees like all the money takers and the people taking bets, and he goes, "All bets are off. Wipe the board. If money has exchanged hands, please return it in its entirety. If I hear of anyone being cheated or not having their money returned, let's just say punishment will go the way of Hogrina. Does that make sense?" And he doesn't even wait for a response. He just turns and walks away.
Makes sense to me, sir.
And as after he goes, the couple look at you, Cole, and they go, "Well, yeah, yep, you're more of a force than we thought. Good fight." "Yep." And they look at each other and go, "Yep, we like you. We can be friends."
I'm just gonna go over, wrap my arm around each of their shoulders, and be like, "See what a crowd we drew? Did you see that? That's how you put on a show." And then I'm just gonna go walk on around camp and start flicking sparks into whatever fire pit needs fire.
Yeah, like you and Brand already are pretty well known throughout the caravan, but like at this point, Cole, people are like, "That's Cole. That's the monk that like tricked 4 guards into buying them like drinks," and like tall tales are being spun of you at this point. Like at one point, I think you hear someone saying that you fought a wyvern, and skinned it alive. Like you just hear some crazy talk, but you're okay with it.
I'll lean into Cole. I believe if you play your cards right, you might just become a legend in your own time, even.
I'm sorry, but I think I'm already a legend, and I just like flex. And
I will make no attempt to hide my disdain and my eye roll, as only a true elf can do.
I
I'll
think
snort and walk off.
Tobias, he's just kind of snorts as he's continuing working on cooking the meal that he's getting ready for everybody there. It's like, and just shakes his head as he's staring the stew.
So yeah, after this, like, you guys eat, like you've returned back to your little camp there, Cole, and people are coming up and like walking by and like trying to talk to you and like shake your hand and do stuff, and a couple people come up to you too, Brand, and they're like, "See, it's the pair of monks that they work together. I don't know what they do. I want to go train where they train."
And the moon elf. Don't forget the moon elf. Yeah.
Like,
What about Valerian?
and as you do that, they're like, the moon. Who's the moon elf? What have you done?
the moon
Damn it!
elf.
Damn it! I'll stump off and walk off. Damn you people!
And
Your time will come, Mirdavar.
and it goes like this until people start to naturally make their way to their tents and go to sleep, Yeah. So, do you guys want to set a watch, or do you want to use the watch that Wayland has posted?
I guess,
think- I'll take one. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
Tobias is set in his ways of his old Army Scout days that he sets watch as well. Always can't be too safe.
So they were
Yeah, I'd be
already
happy.
they're already going to be two of Wayland's, so you'll only need two more.
I'll do it. Tobias will do it.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm keen to get in a little bit more practice before I go to bed, so I'll just stay up and run through a few more routines while keeping an eye out.
So Brand, I'll give you the first one, and then it will be both of Wayland's, and then it'll be Tobias. So Brand, go ahead. Everyone has settled in and made their way to bed. Brand, give me a perception check.
Sure. Oof.
You're so focused on your kata that you're not even paying attention to what is around. You're like, is my hand in the right position? Is my fist closed properly? Like, is
Angle
it
isn't quite right.
right? Like you're focused on it, and the moonlight's kind of shining down, and you see like the shadow from the moon on the snow, and you're like focusing on the beauty of that, and it's this really weird situation where you're like becoming one with yourself, and you're like, am I becoming a druid? This nature is beautiful, and you're focused. You don't see crap. But nothing happens. You go through and you end up coming to bed, and the two watches, nothing happens. None of you are awoken. Tobias, it is your watch. You're awoken, shaken by one of Wayland's watchers, and you're up for your little area.
All right.
So go ahead and roll me a perception. Yeah. You are like back in your element. This feels like home to you. It's not quite your favored terrain, but you're comfortable anywhere outdoors. And you're scanning. You're looking for the slightest bits of movement. You're looking for silhouettes the wrong way. Like, if everything in the trees are vertical, you're looking for horizontals. And you don't see anything. It's a quiet watch for you too. Pretty peaceful. And it goes that way until morning. You see the sun start to come up, and you don't catch anything.
I guess as he's finishing out his watch, I guess he'll start getting the campfire ready for his wagon mates, and so he gets that fire going. Gets a morning, I guess, stew or whatever we have in the morning of boiled meats and hardtack. So
Okay. And the rest of you start to smell an interesting mixture of foods coming up. It's not what you've been used to since you've been in Luskan. It's road provisions again, and it kind of stirs you all awake, and you start to come to, and one by one you wake up and you come out and you see Tobias kind of poking around the campfire and getting breakfast ready.
A quiet watch for you as well, then.
it was nothing out of the disturbance. It's always a good night. I guess he starts pouring out serving some breakfast, hands it to everybody, and kind of hands one to Cole. It's like, that was a mighty good show you had on there last night, Cole. It's looking like it was a little rough, but I think you would have had him easily.
To be honest, yeah, I totally would.
I had 10 dragons on you. I hope to make quite a profit. I was disappointed to see the captain come and call it to an end, but I was confident that you'd take them down.
Yeah, well, that's how some fights go. Sometimes they find the underground fighting range, and you gotta clear out before the cops get there.
Yes, well, Wayland is
Indeed.
just trying to keep order in the caravan. We've got a long way to travel together, and can't let these things get out of control, especially not on the first night.
Well, it was
A hell
harmless.
of a way to make friends, I'll say.
All of my friends have been punched in the face by me at one point or another.
It's a true statement.
Noted.
I see. When should I expect this fisticuff then?
That's
Should
exactly
we
the
just
point.
get it out of the way?
That's exactly the point, Mirdavar. You don't expect it. And then I just turn and like walk away to go back in the tent to grab some stuff.
It's like
And she turns on Flinch. Jeez! Stressful morning.
it's like the
Indeed.
slap bet from How I Met Your Mother.
Basically.
Goodness.
So as you guys are kind of joking and doing this, two of Waylon's main guards walk up and they approach both you, Cole and Brand, and they say, "I need you two to come with us immediately. Lord Wayland needs your audience."
Of course.
Of course.
Should I bring anything?
I'll look over at Tobias and roll my eyes.
Tobias,
The monks have been summoned.
I see that. Apparently we ride with them in the same wagon, and we can't garner the same audience. Yeah,
And
I see how it goes here.
and one of the guards, the older one who's probably higher ranking, looks at you, Tobias, and he says, "When you've earned the right, as these two have, then you will gain audience. So I would focus on your skills and not running your mouth."
It's like, Tobias being a servant in the Waterdeep Army at the Well of Dragons, it's kind of like half his pride coming from being a ranger, monster hunter, kind of wants to run off and say that, well, maybe when you face down Tiamat and her hordes, then you can run your mouth, but his army background kind of just shuts up, but he's kind of cocking a half a grin on there.
Like, this dude outranks you significantly.
Well, Tobias is young, and so he's still he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, being
And he looks like he's reading what you're going through, because he was a young soldier at one point too, and he just holds that stone face and looks at you and then gives you like that, and then turns and the two of you go with him, and you go up to the front of the wagon train, and you approach Waylon's tent. They fold it open. You guys go in, and Waylon says, "I know you two. Well, I know your wagon set your own watch, as I would expect you to. Did you see anything last night? Did you hear anything last night?"
No, I spoke to my wagon mate Tobias, who was also keeping watch as I was. Neither of us saw anything.
And he looks down and he kind of leans over, and there's another high officer of his kind of to his left, and he turns and he whispers something, and he hears back, and he says, "So you didn't hear? No one was attacked. There was no pillaging. There was nothing. You didn't hear? I guess you were probably too far away." Later in the line, because I think there's something like 100 and I forget how many, 120 wagons or so. I forget how many there are. Because somewhere in the back of the line, it seems there was a probing attack made. We're not quite sure. It was very late at night. They must have read our watch, and it was one of the wagons that chose not to set their own watch. Because I'm going to have to request that everyone sets their own watch in addition to what I send out. And he's just kind of getting tired and exasperated. He goes, "So I'm going to need you guys to head out and check to see what's in the area. See if you can follow tracks. I know you have a ranger with you. You have a rogue with you. See what you can find. See what you can do. Give me whatever information you can. I know you guys are great at gathering information. Don't get caught. Come back all in one piece. And bring me information, and if you happen across anyone, bring anyone back alive. Okay?
Very well. What was the number of the wagon?
87.
Very well. I'll get to that at once.
Okay. And you just be well. If you need anything, let me know, but this shouldn't require anything.
Well, Cole, we might be in for another fight. I imagine you're up for it.
Let's party.
So you guys head back out. The tents are parted for you. Yep.
Yeah, just head back to our camp.
This says Tobias sees him. I can see him he's smoking a pipe with his fellow wagon mate there. Enjoying the last bit of breakfast, waiting for the rest of his wagon team to come back.
Tobias, Merdivar, it seems your moment has come. You have a chance to prove yourselves today.
Excellent.
Some of that notoriety you've been looking for.
Just attention, really, but what can we do?
Wayland has requested that we head down to wagon 87. They suffered some kind of probing attack in the night. We're to look for tracks, see if we can find any sign of who perpetrated this attack, and if we can, apprehend and bring them back to the caravan alive.
Sounds good.
That sounds like
I'll be ready at once.
I'm definitely ready. Definitely break off this monotony of this wagon driving and dick measuring and bowstring talk. So,
Absolutely. I think we've all been spoiling for a bit of action. Well,
Indeed.
suggest you get your things.
I just
Quick
pull out
note.
my Yukawa.
Quick note. Coach said that he resubbed, so I'm gonna give you guys a divine pre-roll. So once again, for everyone watching, every 500 bits that are donated or a sub, the players get a divine pre-roll, meaning they can choose to roll advantage on it or force me to roll at disadvantage on one of their rolls. So, go ahead.
Yay, Coach. Thank you, sir.
thank you, Coach. Tobias starts grabbing his gear. You see him grab his longbow, his two short swords, and a dark green cloak that he wraps around him.
I'll cinch my hood, flip my hood up, cinch my cloak, short bow and quiver full of arrows, rapier at my side, ready to go.
I just got my Yukawa, and I just stand there with my stick, and I'm just like, ready.
Yeah, I just quickly reach into the wagon and grab my longsword and just kind of have that over the shoulder. Well, shall we be off then?
I lead the way. And Tobias gestures sarcastically at the two monks. Yeah.
All right, the first lesson you need to learn is that you have to do exactly what we say. So, first lesson,
Very well.
don't be an ass.
I am. Duly
All
noted.
right. Second lesson, we're gonna go all the way there walking on our hands, and then I just get on my hands and start walking.
Roll an acrobatics check.
That seems entirely unnecessary, but
Come on, I clicked it.
Please roll bad. Please roll bad. Please roll
No,
bad.
she pops up on her hands and she's just like through the snow on her hands. Yeah.
Not thinking much about my cloak, with a flourish of awkwardness, I too will attempt to walk on my hands.
So
I guess,
as you go, like you flip up and your cloak is going to now be dragged under you, but you're able to like pull it and it creates this really interesting pattern as like it drags through and then you have your hand mark. So whoever's going to follow you is going to really wonder what the heck that was.
I'm gonna look over at Cole and just kind of.
Well, Tobias, it seems Mirdavar has created a nice clear path for us. Shall we walk?
I do reckon it's let's why not overexert ourselves before our task is done at hand.
You call this exertion? I call this morning routine.
And by this time, it's like probably like 10 o'clock in the morning. By the time you've gotten breakfast and walked and headed out and met with Wayland, it's probably like 10.
All right.
Another beautiful
Build the
day.
wagon.
Another beautiful day. Very few clouds in the sky. It's like those really wispy cirrus clouds that are really really high.
Nice.
Slight breeze coming from the north, and it's chilly still. It's cold. And you guys start trekking, like you've made your way. Now, were you just heading to 87 and then heading out, or were you making your way to 87?
Making our way to 87,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so
As we're going down, I'd like to actually speak to some of the people who were attacked. Perhaps they might have some information for us. I mean, Tobias, you're probably better suited to looking for actual tracks in the snow than I am.
Well, natural tracks is always good, but determining a cause of attack, you also want to take a look at what was attacked and see if there's anything, any marks that are left behind that could give you a clue as to what might have perpetrated this event.
I too have a keen eye for such details, so I could be of assistance investigating for clues and so forth.
Tobias, go ahead and make a survival check with advantage, because Mirdavar is going to be assisting you.
Alright.
Yeah.
Nice.
You see, from what you can tell in your training, and it's a little difficult in the snow, but you're able to make out 4 distinct sets of tracks that are very different from what would be the adventures in the wagon. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit rounder, and they're pretty flat. There's no heel cup. There's nothing like that you'd see with a boot. They're almost perfectly flat, almost elliptical in shape, and a little bit bigger than the average human shoe size. And then, Brand, you said you wanted to question some of the people.
Yeah, just either with whether they're survivors of the attack from that caravan or the nearby caravans, and just see,
Sure.
find out
So you've
what
got
attacked, their numbers, anything really.
you've got people from 86, 87, and 88 all nearby, and they all start talking almost at the same time, trying to tell you, like their renditions of it, and you're able to like calm them down and kind of break out what's going on. And from what you can tell, at about 2 or 3 in the morning, a group came in and made attacks on the wagons themselves. They like kind of tried to break the wheels, and that's when they woke up. They heard almost like chopping of wood of the wagon wheels, and when they started to engage, the group fled. So there was actually no one hurt, but you do notice that wagon 87, the 2 northern wheels that are on the right side of the wagon have been basically destroyed. They've been fixed. They're in the process of being replaced right now, but there's just splintered wood all over. And then Tobias, that you can confirm that you see the tracks coming in, and then you see separate tracks in a flat out run away north.
Does it appear to be like axe blows on the wood?
Yep.
Or bludgeon type damage?
It's you're getting the impression that they're axes. Like you can see the distinct chop, because an axe, the way the axe is shaped with its flare is different from a sword. The swords tend to go in and don't leave. Like it kind of splits the wood, where an axe kind of makes the wood pop out and breaks pieces off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like takes out a trapezoid.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yep.
Chunk.
Yep.
Well, I think I've learned all I can here. Seems like you've had some luck.
It's like, yeah, it looks like it's got a couple tracks going coming in and out. Very oddly shaped. Definitely larger than a human or most races that are traveling in this party. I've seen almost everybody's footprints here.
Tobias, what's your favorite terrain?
Mountain terrain.
Okay, you'd know that what you see, these tracks are heavy boots. They're like they're not like the boots you'd find people wearing in a city folk wearing, or even like riding boots, but these are people trying to stay warm boots, like winter boots. Probably hide, yeah, like probably made from hide.
Yes, it looks like we got a couple some raiders here. These are definitely heavy boots, probably made out of probably a local indigenous animal hide. Probably just something to keep warm, maybe oiled to keep it waterproof. And so they're gonna be the tracks are pretty distinguishable, but you might not hear them because of how they're made.
Interesting that they didn't attack the occupants, yet they attacked the wagon itself as if to sabotage, to prevent us from moving forward.
It seems
versus
like
raid for theft or harm.
It's very possible because you want to keep something from pressing forward. You kind of pepper the wagon train with small attacks, not something to cause an outright alarm, but something to have them stop, take time to rebuild, and send out searching parties. They might be trying to prevent us from seeing something or trying to set something up, so we should best let Lord Wayland know what we saw.
Yeah, that's my sense is perhaps they're trying to stop the caravan for a greater, more exciting event to come.
Yeah, it seems like that because a big all-out attack would only cause a wagon train to head faster to the destination. But if you want to try to stop it, you want to kind of just pick at it with 1,000 little cuts.
Should we follow the tracks that depart, or should we report to Wayland first?
I say we should let a guard know to run a message to Lord Wayland that we're gonna go push out from the wagon train and follow these tracks.
You don't see any guards nearby, but you're able to convince one of the adventurers from 87 to deliver that message. It's a grumpy little dwarf, just gray hair, gray beard, mad that he had to replace 2 wagon wheels, just drinking, like pounding drinks while he's doing it. Like Cole,
you might wish to make the acquaintance of the driver in wagon number 37. I think he might have something to show you.
Yes.
Could be of interest.
Unless it's another wagon wheel, I don't want anything to do with it. And he's just like, he's like basically, you don't quite know how he's doing it. He's drinking, he's replacing the wheel and like fixing the axle, and then with his as he switches hands, there's like a mug each way in his offhand. Cole, you drink a lot. You're impressed.
That man's liver is just gonna quit.
I replaced my liver a long time ago, lass.
What are you on your 3rd, 4th?
I think his liver's in a flask.
This man knows what I'm talking about. Yes.
Interesting fellow.
But it seems he gets the job done though.
And he just goes back to it, and he's going back into his thing, and drinking and pounding, and yeah, he's like, I'll report this to Waylon as soon as I get a chance.
All right.
Should we head out?
Tobias sarcastically and says, "You two are Lord Waylon's go-to hand, so I'm just a newbie here. So, what do you say?"
So by the time you've talked to everybody and wrangled everything and done your research, it's closing in on noon.
So it's if we're gonna head out in this, I reckon we best take some little bit of warmer clothes. As he looks over at Brandon, kind of just cocks an eye at Cole, knowing that she's a fire genasi. It's like, because if we get caught out here at night, these temperatures are going to drop, and without a campfire to stay warm, you're going to need something to wrap up in.
I kind of am fire. So I don't think we have to worry about campfires.
Rightly so, man. Rightly so. But in these snowdrifts that come off a mountain, you do not want to mess with these the winds and this temperature.
Well, I'm sure you'll take good care of all of us, as experienced as you are.
I'll do what I can.
Oh, that is all I ask. And as Wayland chose our wagon specifically for yours and Mirdavar's skills, I believe it is for you to lead the way and show us where these tracks lead. As I said before, I'm not so familiar with the wilderness.
All right, rightly so. Tobias pulls his cloak over, pulls his hood up, and he starts trudging along, following the tracks that are running out away from the wagon train.
Yeah, and you're easily able to follow them. No snow came last night with no cloud cover. There was no possibility of snow. The wind has been low enough that it hasn't really blown anything over. In fact, it's gotten so cold that the top layer of snow is kind of like that thin. It's not ice, but it's that thin, crusty snow where you step through it and it crunches. So it's everything just kind of skirts over that. So none of the tracks were covered. So you're easily able to follow them, and you see that after maybe 400 meters, they move from a run to a walk, and they shift from like a random assortment of 4 to like 2 and 2. And you're guessing that whoever was in the back was probably walking in the tracks of the person in front. And then another 400 meters from that, it shifts into a line, and then it's just one single set of tracks.
I've seen this before. It's they usually travel single file to hide their numbers.
Very cunning.
So best
No people.
be mindful, because obviously we're in their environment here, so we don't know exactly how many had attacked the train. So just keep a watchful eye out on your surroundings, folks.
Very well.
I'll draw my bow and knock an arrow. My short bow.
Sure.
I'm gonna stay back from Tobias and let him do his thing.
What's
Knowing what I know about.
what's the marching order? Tobias is in the front, but how are the rest of you situated?
I think I'll bring up the rear. That's all right. I've got an edged and a ranged weapon that might be helpful back there.
Okay.
I'll go second.
Okay.
I'll be third, I guess.
Sure. And yeah, you guys continue your march. So Tobias, how do you want to go? Do you want to parallel the tracks? Do you want to step in the tracks themselves? How are you proceeding with this?
I guess he'll be running parallel to the tracks, so that way he can kind of get a lay of which way they're heading, and also kind of see if he can determine just how many have passed through, because no matter how good you can try to keep and step in a track, you're always going to step a little to the side on one part, so he's going to try to gauge as best he can. But we'll be running parallel to the tracks.
I need Tobias make another survival check.
Okay. Ooh.
You're not sure how many there are. The way that it's after they crunch down and it refroze overnight, you can't quite get those small details about the discernment between one or the other. You know that it started as 4, and it's now down to a single file. So you're thinking that it's 4 at the least, at a minimum, but you don't know if it's more than that. And you guys go for a while. It's probably like you left around noon. It's probably about 2:00 at this point, and they're still going. You've gone probably 2 hours. You're probably walking at like 2 miles an hour because it's not difficult terrain, but it's not necessarily easy terrain. So you've gone maybe 2 or 3 miles north, and you're still like their pace hasn't changed. It's that same gait that you've gone on. How do you guys want to proceed from here? Do you want to stop and eat? Do you want to keep going?
It's Tobias is used to stuff like this. I guess he would just start eating as he's walking, and grabbing a little hardtack
Same.
out, little dried beef.
Some trail rations.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
And you keep going and you keep going, and it's the same thing. It's another 2 to 3 miles. You're maybe 5 to 6 miles out at this point off the line. And the trees are picking up a little bit. The scrub brush is getting a little denser, and there's more and more trees as you get further away from this trail. The sun is starting to come down, and it's starting to get it gets dark up here fairly early. It starts to get dark probably around 4:00. So it's like 4:30. It's starting to get dark. Dusk is coming on, and yeah, you're starting to approach. You're coming into more trees, and a trail is kind of naturally forming in between the way the trees snake, and they're following this trail.
Alright, so I guess looks like you guys wanna. It's starting to get dark here. These tracks might be a little hard if they start picking up this trail. Might be a little hard to follow in the low light and in the dark. So you guys wanna settle up for a camp right now, or try to keep pushing forward? Because
I think it might be wise to stop and set up camp for the night. Don't want to miss their tracks in the dark.
He might also give them time to get away from us even further.
Is this true?
Well,
How well do you think you can follow the tracks in the dark, Tobias?
I can follow them pretty well. I'll probably have to light a torch if we're trying to sneak up on anything. That torchlight's gonna be gonna shine, gonna point us out in the middle of the night. If you know what I'm saying.
Only one of you has dark vision.
I do indeed.
Yep. So
Would you like me to make a stab at following the trail then myself? I can see in the dark. Replace the need for a torch?
It's that'd be up to you, sir. You know, it's I know city rogues are pretty good at picking stuff up, and a little bit different out here in the wilderness, but it's all the same.
I'll grant you that, but given that there are tracks in 4 to 6 inches of snow, let's try it.
Okay. At this point,
Let's say the rest of you.
okay, go ahead.
yes, well,
What do you say? Would you like to proceed forward?
I think if it means that we can close the distance.
Yeah, it's so I guess Tobias will fall behind Mirdavar and take up the second rank.
Okay. So yeah, you guys continue now with this new marching order. Cole, that puts you at the end. So it's Mirdavar, Tobias, Brand, and then Cole. With that, why don't we take our first break right now? This is a good stopping point. So
Great.
we're going to do just a 5-minute break tonight. And if we need to take another one later, we can. But let's just start with the 5-minute break for now. So we will be... All right. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are. So our merry party of adventurers of Wagon 37 trekked off into the wilderness in search of, they're not sure. Somebody made an attack on Wagon 87, damaging 2 of its wheels, and retreated very quickly. And they are now investigating. So, with that, the party has kind of shifted gears as it's starting to get dark, and Mirdavar has taken the lead, being the only one with dark vision. And God, why does it seem that you guys get into situations where only one of you has dark vision? That's like the story of Mac marches. So yeah, you guys are now. It's like 4:30, closing in on 5 o'clock. It's starting to get dark, and you're still following the trail. The paths are starting to get more through the trees. The trees are more and more as you're getting further and further away from this trail. It's getting denser. The density of the trees is definitely getting higher, and there seems to be a singular trail kind of winding its way through, and you're following that. I need Mirdavar and Tobias. Actually, everyone, just roll me a perception check.
Close that.
Okay. So, yeah, everybody would get, Cole, even with your roll, you'd still get it, mostly because you're a fire genasi. But you all pick up the very faint smell of a campfire. Tobias, you're kind of able to judge how far away it is based on the smell. You're guessing it's probably 500 meters, 600 meters away, because it's not super strong. You're able to pick up the wisps of it, but given your ranger background, you're probably pretty sure it's 400, 500, 600 yards away.
I'll turn and whisper back, "Are the rest of you smelling fire?"
Sorry.
Campfire on the breeze.
I don't think it's you, Cole. I think it's it's campfire.
No, this one smells good.
Rude.
I picked that up. I picked up a faint smell of a campfire too. It's a good thing. I think. I don't think it's cold because we're definitely we're upwind from her. So
I don't see the glow. It's a ways off yet, but I definitely smell burning wood.
it's definitely it's up there a little bit. So like I said, now would be the best time that we try to hone in on its direction and come in on a stealthy approach.
Agreed. I would assume the trail
sounds
might
good.
lead us right to it. Shouldn't be too tough to tell the direction, I would assume. We follow these footprints.
I would say lead the way, sir.
All right, I will make my way, and I will attempt to do so in a stealthy manner.
Keep an eye out for sentries.
That's everybody roll stealth. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, Mirdavar, you in the front. You're pretty confident. You're disappearing into the shadows. Tobias, like, you feel like you're at home. You're in the woods. It's like snow. It's near the mountains. You're right behind Mirdavar. You're feeling pretty sneaky. Cole and Brand, both of you are kind of out of your element at this point. So you're not quite sure. You're a little cold. Well, Cole, you're not, but Brand, you're a little chilly. So you're like trying to huddle up next to Cole a little bit, and you feel yourself like getting the slightest hint of a shiver as the sun goes down. So you're kind of getting up near coal to try to do it. So you're not quite sure if your teeth are chattering or what, but you think you're sneaky, but you're also not sure if you're being sneaky. And you start to follow this, and it starts to come out. And let me flip over here to so you guys can see where you're coming to. Sounds like someone's got a TV on in the background, maybe.
Hi.
I think I might have some background noise. I'll just make sure I'm muted.
Okay. So for what you guys start to come up, and you start to see the trail break out this way, and it kind of comes up, and it loops around to the left. Let me switch over here. I'll wait for... Okay, you're back, Brand, so you're good to go.
Just close some windows.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. This is being kind of funky. Whatever. Okay. So we've got you guys kind of sneaking up that way and seeing what's going on. And yeah, you see that coming in.
So to my 10 o'clock there, that's kind of the trail where it's a little bit lighter in color.
Yeah. Let me reveal, because you can see this a little bit better. You kind of get the impression that, like, you can kind of see up as you sneak up a little bit. You see that it kind of curls back around, and you start to get a much stronger smell. And roll a perception check for me. Just you, Mirdavar, because I think you're kind of taking the point and going out a little bit in front of everyone. Yeah. You're pretty sure you see the flickers of a campfire. Maybe at this point, like 50, 60 feet away.
Okay.
And as you pan out and look, you think through the trees, you see like a few more campfires, maybe 3 or 4 more.
Okay. What I'm going to do then is stop and retreat back to the group and report what I see. Multiple campfires, actually 3 or 4 perhaps. It looks like we've encountered an encampment of whatever is wearing those boots.
Did you happen to see if anybody was walking out and about? Any patrols on the area there? 'Cause it's dark.
The closest campfire was probably at the edge of where I can see in darkness, maybe 60 feet away. So I was able to make the glow that there are multiple campfires, but I was unable to see figures. If you wish, I could sneak closer. Given my ability to see in the dark and be stealthy, perhaps I can go up and do a bit of recon, see what I can see.
I guess it's best to probably all start making our way up that way, so that way if you get yourself in a pickle, we can hopefully pull you back out.
Okay. Just perhaps stay 30, 40 feet back.
Okay.
That will do.
Sounds like a plan.
Then I'll begin to make my way quietly, hopefully. Do you want another stealth?
Yeah, give me another one. So as you come up, you see you see a human dressed in furs, back to you, and you see the tent and the campfire that that's there. You see actually a second human up there too, just on the cusp. It's kind of on the back side of the tent that's there. He's flirting back and forth with it, And as you do that, you come up and you step into the snow, and you think your foot's going down into a nice pile of snow, but on the bottom of it, there's actually a branch, and you hear it, and you pause and you freeze. You're real quiet, Wiley. Can't quite hear you. Something's up with your internet connection, buddy. You're like echoing and still an echo. It's real quiet. I just heard you say something about a bonus action.
I think that was a bonus action hide.
Let's just take a quick 5 more minutes here and see if we can sort this out. Let me. Oh, and you're back. You're fine now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bonus action to use my cunning action ability and hide.
Okay. So yeah, as soon as you hit your foot on that, you like turn. There's a nice big like low-lying group of branches coming out of a tree, and you duck behind it. And as you like poke around, you see the guy turn, and he's got a big axe in his hand, and he looks. And he's looking, and he kind of sniffs the air a little bit, and turns back, goes back to talking to his buddy.
Okay, once I see that he's talking, or see that his back is to me, I'm going to try to stealth my way back to the group.
Okay.
And this time I'm not going to roll a nat 1. Because why would I do that twice?
Yeah.
Not a nat 1. Okay.
Yeah, you're easily able to make it back quietly, letting everybody. Yeah.
Okay. So there are a couple of large humans in furs, wielding axes, sort of standing beside their tent. Again, with multiple campfires. I assume there are a handful of these people. 3-4 campfires, 2 to 3 humans, assuming with each little encampment there. So we could have our hands full. That's about what I was able to discern as I stealthily made my way close.
Any idea if peaceful negotiations are on the table?
Well, one did turn and look up the trail for some odd random reason. I don't. And he sort of brandished a large axe. So we might need to have a good reason to be out here, and I will guess that we are going to be outnumbered 3, maybe 4 to 1.
Hey, we could always do the get help.
No. What if I went around this left branching path and drew their attention that way? And if negotiations fail, then you come around the right path and get a surprise attack on them.
So the pugilist will go in to negotiate.
I have a silver tongue, thank you
Yes,
very much.
I think you'll be quite surprised. Cole here is quite the talker.
Well, I defer to your excellence then. My apologies. And I'll bow low, gracefully.
That's quite all right. I've made that mistake underestimating her before as well.
It won't happen again for at least 30 minutes.
Well, I guess the three of us should ready some form of ambush position then.
Yes, there's a good bit of paths and trees. We could perhaps sneak our way up around the bend here and be within archery range for sure, should things take a bad turn.
Sounds perfect. Lead the way.
Very well. I'm going to try to be stealthy again.
Okay.
And apparently, damn that branch!
So are you trying to go back in stealthily,
Yeah, I'm
along
just
the
making
path.
my way up the trail, and I want to go up and get a clean sight line somewhere, off to this side or that side.
Sure. The other thing you do happen to notice, there are some like what appear to be little game trails. One starts here. One starts here, and works its way back around. Oops, sorry. There we go. Starts here and works its way back like this way around. So you get the idea that it goes back that way, and there's another one that goes kind of like right through here. So if you wanted to try to sneak through one of those game trails, you could try to do that too.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that. I'm gonna just get myself out into here. I
I'm
just want
also
to be within 60, 80 feet so I can see. And...
Like you're getting pretty close. You're within, like as you get there, you through the bramble, you can easily make out like 3 more tents, probably 2 more campfires, and maybe like 4 more humans.
Okay. Do I have sight lines?
They're broken. They're broken sight lines, but you can see. It's a lot of branches.
Okay.
It's nothing. It would be a struggle to get a shot through if you wanted to get a shot through.
Okay.
I guess while they're going that way, I'm gonna come up around this way. And
Obviously, you're going to be further away. The map's kind of limiting you. I'll need you to roll stealth.
okay. Well, I'm not trying to be stealthy. I'm trying to make my presence known.
Oh, okay. Then don't roll anything and just walk. How far away are you going to be? Like 20, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet?
Like 20 feet away, and I'm gonna just be like, "Help! Is there someone there?"
And like as you do that, you hear in a really guttural dialect of common. You don't quite make all of the language out. It's a dialect you don't completely understand, but you know some of the words. You get the idea that they're asking who's going there. It's like I can't even make this voice. It's imagine a combination of like Dutch and Russian.
Dutchin, got it.
Dutchin.
it's either that or Rutch.
Maybe a little Finnish thrown in there. So yeah, you get that. You get the idea that they're asking who goes there.
I'm just a traveler looking for some warmth by the fire.
And you see, Cole, another campfire up here, because you're in the woods here, but ahead of you see what you think, you see one more campfire for sure right here. And then 2 more, you can't, you can see them, even they're being illuminated. So you see a total of 4, and this guy right here turns, and he looks at you, and he's got his axe up, and this guy comes around here, and he's got his axe up too, and they're saying stuff to you, and it's a real guttural dialect, and based on the tone, you're not quite sure. They don't quite understand you, and you don't quite understand them.
I'm gonna just be like cold, and I just like shiver, and I'm like pointing at the fire. It's just like, can I go toward the fire?
And they kind of look at each other. Make a persuasion at disadvantage.
Ew.
They don't quite understand, and they kind of like grip tighter down on their axes, and they're looking at each other back and forth, like, and you know what that look means. And they're gripping down, and they're just waiting to see what you're doing. They're sizing you up, looking you up and down.
From our ambush spot, can we kind of see this stuff going on?
You've seen them move. You can't see Cole. She's hidden by their tent, but you can see the one guy peel off, and you can see and you can hear that. And then at that point, you also see this guy turn, and you see this guy head off. He heads out.
This doesn't look like it's going particularly well. Be ready to move at any moment.
Well, Mirdavar, you see that guy head out. The two of you don't see that guy.
Yep.
We'll do. I guess we best try to get up a little bit closer so we can get a good shot.
Agreed. I'm also gonna, as we sneak up a little bit closer, I'm gonna click the heels of my boots of speed.
Okay. Move. Go ahead and move yourselves where you want to be.
I'm just gonna, while they're moving up, I guess I'm gonna just slowly, with my hands in the air, in a surrendering gesture, walk towards the fire and just crouch down and start warming my hands by the fire.
Before you even get there, as you approach this guy here, he flexes up and he starts spouting stuff off, and he holds one hand on and he holds his other hand up, and it's like the stop. And the other guy comes up next to the fire and he does the same thing, hand up, stop. And they're just speaking and stuff, and you really have no idea of what dialect this is. It's very, very different from anything you've heard. Tobias, how much time have you spent in the mountains up north?
I believe I spent a good couple years up there after hearing about after leaving the army. I went following up north. Went basically as a game hunter, monster hunter. Following my grandfather's footsteps. And so I spent some good amount of time hunting up north. And so probably that's where I would have been before I heard the basically word about.
So you have a rough understanding of this dialect. It's you're not fluent in it by any means, but you kind of get the understanding. And from what you can hear, the two are telling each other effectively it's probably one of them from the caravan. They're probably coming to attack us for what we did. The others are being alerted. They're rallying everyone. Let's just hold here and wait until we have our force ready to go.
So I guess I kind of pick up the words and I kind of whisper to Brandon. It's like, we might want to try to push this negotiations a little bit more, because they sounds like they got more on their way, and it might be a little bit of a standoff here, because they think we're here to attack them, and so they're bringing everybody here to fight back. So we're greatly outnumbered. So let's see if we can try to talk our way into this a little bit better.
Well, it seems they're looking for a fight, and they're bringing more friends along. What do you suggest?
Well, it's going to be, if you want to go down that road, we're going to have to either strike hard or strike fast and take out as many as we can, as fast as we can before the reinforcements get here. Otherwise, it's not going to be. Waylon's not going to be hearing anything back from us.
And as you're saying that, Mirdavar, you see this guy return back, and as he does, you see a bunch of other same dress, hide, axes, all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. They're all kind of ganging up, making their way down here. And then as you guys start to see this group kind of flare out, one of them starts to kind of go to toward the opening of where you are. But there's a bunch of them.
They're not speaking thieves' cant, are they?
No.
Damn. That would have been so helpful. Drat the luck.
There's a whole bunch of them.
I guess at this point I would be like, Okay, let's first and foremost. Leader, do you understand that? Can I speak to your leader? Person in charge.
And they're back and forth with each other, and they're just same thing, hand up.
Tobias, if you understand what they're saying, perhaps you could help out Cole.
So, I guess Tobias will kind of sneakily make his way back around to the backside of the tent there.
Okay, roll stealth. You think you're able to get there pretty quietly. As you're going through, like you hear, you brush past a branch and it snaps, and one of the guys turns and looks, this guy right here, and then you see him go over his shoulder and kind of whisper something to the others around him.
I guess
You'll note that there are no women; it's all men.
So I guess what I'll do is I'll stumble out. I'll make it look like I'm in need of help, and I kind of try to speak their dialect. Be like, "So please, she's with me. We got attacked. We need help."
So you stumble out past the tent.
Yeah, kind of stumbling out, like just trying to keep the tent between me and everybody else, instead of just the one sees me. So I'm kind of in their dialect, say, she's with me. We just need help. We just need fire for warmth.
I need you to make a persuasion roll. No disadvantage because you do kind of understand the language and you have a semi command of it. So I'm not going to put you at complete disadvantage. And so the one guy right here next to Cole turns to see you there, and you're able to like kind of say she's with me. He kind of gets the idea that you're together, and he kind of mutters over his shoulder again, and you pick up what he's saying to the effect of they're definitely from the caravan, and I don't know what they're doing up here, but we should be careful. There's probably more of them. Cole, you have no idea what he's saying.
Okay.
So it's so I guess Tobias keeps going. It's like in the dialect. It's like understand. It's like yes, we are travelers in this land. It's we mean you no harm. We are just passing through, and we saw these tracks, and we just wanted to follow them because we figured they might lead to some fire and some warmth and food.
And as he's talking, you, Mirdavar and Brand, you see several of these humans come out, and they're aware of your presence, and they're forming kind of a defensive position here. A couple more fill in over here, and this guy comes down here. Let me reveal a little bit here for the map. I'm just going to open up the map in its entirety, even though you guys can't quite see all of it. And these guys kind of fan out here to do this. So you've got a whole bunch of people, and the guy he's kind of buying it a little bit. You get the idea, even through your semi command of the language, that he kind of looks down and he's a little confused, and he responds back to you. And from what you bring people to our land, you mean to dominate us? You mean to kill us? Yes?
No. We do nothing of the sort. As Tobias is saying that, he's kind of putting his longbow back over his shoulder, kind of putting the arrow that he had knocked back in there. And he's like, no, we are just travelers, passers through. We are on our way to Frostvarden. This land is yours. We have no claims of taking it. We have no desires to take it from you.
As you're speaking, the three in front of you, Mirdavar and Brand, really start gripping down on their weapons, and they're starting to like snarl at you guys a little bit. And
I'm gonna stand and reveal myself. And before I do that, I will have my bow strapped to my back and my rapier, at my hip in my cloak, with my hands in a peaceful, and I'll just bow my head, almost in response to show them I agree with what Tobias is saying.
And Tobias, I'm assuming you're speaking loud enough to try to get as many of them to hear you as possible.
Yeah, it's at this point I'm not trying to whisper
Yeah.
or anything, and so it's
And you hear a lot of muttering amongst them, and it's a lot of it is I don't know if we should trust them, especially the elf. The should we I don't know, the party is not back. The party is not back yet. I don't know how they got here so quickly.
I'll ask a question in Elvish, very innocently, no tone. Why would you not trust the elf? And I'll ask it in Elvish to see if they understand me.
No. They just stare blank. They stare blankly at you. They kind of give you that I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about look.
Yeah. I'll just again,
Yeah.
put myself in a defenseless position.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd stand up alongside Mirdavar as well. They've obviously seen us. I'm not going to stay crouching.
Right.
So, I guess Tobias keeps going on. It's like I said, we are here. We are just passing through. This is your land. We are on our way to Frostvarden. We don't mean to take this land from you. We have no desire to claim it, to dominate you. We are just travelers and passerbys. One of our wagons was attacked, and we've had some troubles in the past with some bad people. We just wanted to make sure that our folks, our family, are safe and nobody was to die. And I can see that you guys don't want to die as well. So we just want to make sure we can come to an agreement.
Make another persuasion check.
Oh shit.
You're doing so well.
So you're really convinced that what you're saying is in their language. However, the part where you said like we just want to take care of our family came across as we want to hurt your family. And they all flare up and chest out, and they start to approach. All of them start to.
I'm gonna hold my hands up like no.
Tobias is like, no. I must have misspoke. We don't want to hurt you. We do not want to dominate you.
Make
We just want to pass
one
through.
more persuasion check.
Oh.
Checkers or records, baby.
So as you guys have like put your weapons away and like hands out and like pleading, he looks at you and one of the guys kind of from back here, he's been hanging out in the back, comes very much closer to you, Tobias, and one of the other guys actually gets out of his way to let him go in there, and like they part and let him in, and he's bigger physically, a little bit older, but you can tell you get the impression that this is the leader of this little band. And he comes in and he's not even carrying his axe, it's slung on his back, hands are folded across his chest, and he looks at you, and he's tall, he's like 6'8", probably like a solid 260, Like, imagine if The Rock had hair. Imagine if The Rock had hair and a beard.
So Rob Gronkowski.
Right. But dark hair. And he looks kind of down at you and he says, I have heard you speak. Your command of our tongue is barely passable. You must have spent some time in the mountains. Yeah?
I answer, yes, I've spent some time up here. It's not as much as I would like, but I have spent time up here, and we are just passing through. We mean no harm.
And the rest of you completely understand this. It's pretty good common. And he says, so, what are you doing here? What do you want with us? Have you come to harm us? Why do you bring so many wagons to our land?
We are on our way north. We were tasked to resettle the Frostfarden Keep. We are just merely a wagon train making our way from Waterdeep and there's villages around there north. We just happen to be passing through your lands, and we have no desire to take it from you.
If this is true, are you the leader of this group?
Of this small group?
Do you speak for the entire group, or just this little group?
We come handpicked by Lord Wayland himself, the leader of our wagon train, and then and he personally chose us to investigate as to what happened to our wagon. So we can safely say that Lord Wayland, our leader,
what kind of leader does not come himself? And he looks over his shoulder and he says something in their dialect and they all start to laugh. And he says, he appoints small man to come out here and investigate. This is our land. It will always be our land. And he turns and he talks to the guy next to him and he says something and you pick up in the dialect roughly payment, pass through, toll, in that kind of vein, that sort of situation. And he turns back to you and he says, should you want to come through our land, I believe you should give us something.
I do believe that is a very amenable agreement there. This is your land. We are just passers through, so I believe we can work out an arrangement. Is there any terms that I should bring back to Lord Wayland?
Oh, there are no terms. We make deal now.
What would you...
If you are appointed speaker for this leader, then you speak on his behalf. He has given you right to speak. He gives you right to negotiate.
So what would you like? Name your terms, sir. Tobias bows his head as he says, sir.
And he looks down at you, and he kind of shakes his head, and he says, you will not harm any of our people. If any of our people are harmed, we will come back at you. You will leave our land as quickly as possible, and you will not pass back through. If we catch you passing on our land, negotiation is off. You will not hunt our lands, you will not take our trees, you will not fish our streams.
I believe we could work that agreement here. We are just, as I said, just passing through. But might I just ask, there might be other travelers coming along this land, just making their way to Frostfarden. They would be of no means of harming or taking the land from you. I just want to make sure that they would be...
So you tell me more are coming? You are not the only one. There are more? And he like goes to his shoulder and he starts talking in his dialect and he's like, they mean to take over this land. Make another persuasion check.
Oh my god.
I can't leave well enough alone. Ah.
Good job, Tobias.
And he turns and he says, more? How many more? How many you bring?
No,
This cannot be. This must be all. If there are more, no terms. We kill you now, and no one knows the difference.
What the wagon train that your scouts saw, that is all that we have for right now. But I was just speaking in the near future that maybe we can benefit in a prosperous trade and between.
We have no
Prosperity.
need for you. What do we need from you? We live up here perfectly happy, content. We need nothing from you. What can you give us that we do not have?
Perhaps there's a better way to Frostvarden from Luskan that we can follow and stay away from your lands.
Well,
And I say this without moving toward anyone.
yeah. And he turns and he kind of looks back and he says, "If you mean to speak, come talk to me.
Very well.
Do not speak in the distance."
I make my way down.
Yeah, I'll follow as well if we're gonna all kind of regroup.
No, I'm going to come around and stand. No, I'm going to come in front of the tent so they can see me. But I'm going to make my way over to Tobias.
Okay.
And I will bow before the leader graciously. I'm Mir de Valerian from Silvery Moon. And I thank you for parleying with us, sparing us our lives.
Ithgar of Clan Logan.
Well met, Gar of Clan Logan.
What?
How far do your lands stretch? You know the area where you found the caravan. What direction might we go to skirt your land so we don't disturb you or cause you to feel threatened?
Our land runs from the sea to the spine, plain to plain. Like, it's
Yes.
like in Game of Thrones, it's like, yeah, it's a big space.
Well, and in terms of this, that's all the land.
Yeah.
There isn't a way unless we jump on a ship and
Yeah. Like, now this trail that does run through, like, it is an established trail, but people know that you may run into this. This is a situation, and most of the time they leave them alone. But when a caravan this big has come through, they're probably going to take notice. And he says, normally, not a problem. People come through. They come from the north. They mean no harm. They just mean to go. But when this many people come, this is invaded. These are invaders. They come to our lands. They mean to take it over. Why else would 120 plus wagons come north if they do not mean to inhabit our land?
Why the hell would you want to stay here? We're on our way to Frostvarden. That's what we're trying to tell you. We want nothing to do with taking your land. If we did, we would have done something by now, don't you think? Their time talking.
Make an intimidation check.
I'm gonna back that up as well.
At advantage, then. If you're backing it up, make
Great.
it at advantage.
Ifgar, I would be happy to pit one of yours against one of ours. I mean, I would personally step forward in order to prove the strength of our numbers. You do not want to start a war with us. We simply want to pass through and have no trouble.
He says, you mean battle of strength. Your best against our best? Winner takes party and leaves. I win, we all fight, you die. You win, we let you live. And you leave and take your people. And you agree to the terms that the little man over here previously spoke to.
I seem to feel like we were already sort of working in that direction without the need to put our lives on the line.
Your lives have always been on the line.
Well, in terms of...
And then he turns and he says that in their language, and they all start to laugh. So your best against our best.
I would gladly.
Oh, I will agree to this.
I back away. To establish myself as clearly not our best.
I'm gonna step up and be like, Brand, I don't know if you can do this by yourself.
It seems that he's not really one for negotiation. I feel like a show of force might be necessary.
Then let me show the force.
Certainly a language they would understand.
It's Tobias says that obviously I brought with me 2 of our best warriors to come parlay with you. So obviously, if you would like to have a show of force, these are the 2 best that our caravan have at our disposal.
So you want 1v1 or 2v2?
So who else speaks? What's everybody speak?
Are you talking to your own group?
This is out of character. What language does everybody speak?
Common and primordial.
Elven, common, and thieves can't.
Sounds like most of us have Elven.
I was gonna say because I guess I speak in Elven to Bran. It's Bran and Miravar. It's like, should we do 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1? That is up to you, Bran, because I know Cole can handle herself.
I can also handle myself.
Alright, and then,
You people speak too much. Do you wish to fight or do you wish to talk and die?
We wish to fight.
Okay, who is fighting?
I grab Brand's arm and I'm like, 2 against 2? Sound fair?
Yes.
I will allow this. You two are interesting small people. And he turns over his shoulder and he hollers, and you see 2 equally large men walk up. Same thing, like 6'7", 6'8", just big dudes. And yeah, it's about to get
It's on.
It's about to get on. So let's do this. Let's take one quick. We'll take a less than 5-minute break because I want to reset up this map to where it's really cool, and we'll pop back in and we'll do this. Okay? So let's just do like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm gonna pop this off, and then we'll be right back. So
All right.
Here we go. Y'all, here we go. So, yeah. So the leader of this group has said, "You come with us. We have fighting area over here. We make it fair. Big circle. You do not leave circle. You leave circle, all bets are off. Fair?"
Are there weapons involved, or is it fists?
fists.
Very well then. Fair to me.
All right.
And they circle up. They kind of form a blockade, and Mirdavar and Tobias, you kind of come into the circle as well. All right. So you're kind of, there are these taller trees in the area, and they're all snow-capped. And there's quite a few under. So if you appear to be on a tree, you're actually under like the canopy of the tree. But it's pretty open, with the exception of there would be a tree trunk here, 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 and here. And there's like a couple of big rocks right here, but for the most part, it's just open space. So these two come up, these two approach right here. And they come up, and everybody starts. So let's do this. I'm gonna have the two of you roll initiative. So go ahead and grab your tokens and go ahead and roll. And let me bring them up, and I'm gonna just roll once, and that's gonna be for them.
Heck did Mac go?
Don't forget to click your token before you roll the sheet.
Yep. Except my whole character sheet disappeared and won't pull back up. Hold on.
Oh, you're good. Take your time.
Whoop.
Okay. Let me roll them. Where did it go on here? Here we go. Okie doke. So it didn't add them to that. I don't know why, but let me manually throw that. Oh, it's because I didn't choose a token. Hold on a second. So we'll do this again. There you go. I'm going to go with the original, though, because that's how it works.
Okay.
All right. So we have your barbarian friends going first. This is all fisticuffs, and let me just throw this in here real quick.
I'm gonna light my pipe. Settle in.
Tobias, will obviously partake as well of Mirdavar.
Absolutely. Yeah, hand you my bag.
Brand just like takes his long sword, throws it down so it kind of stabs into the ground and sits there.
Okay.
Steps forward into the ring.
Okay. All right. Okie doke. So I think we are good to go. All right, let's do this. So they are going to start. I'll start with the one on top, and he is going to. He doesn't even run. He just walks right up to you, Cole, and he just comes in one hand and just throws a huge, massive mitt right at you.
Big haymaker.
Does a 19 hit you? A 19 hits you.
Yep.
4 damage as it just comes down from the top and just catches you on like right in the forehead, and you just feel like your spine compress a little bit. You take 4. The other guy moves up to you, Brand. Same thing. This slow, like, I've got this walk. Boom. Same thing. Like, throw down from the top. Pretty sure 22 hits you.
Yep.
And just 7, just boom. And you, same thing. You feel like your head maybe, like, did your skull split? You're not sure. Okie doke. Brand, you are up.
All right, kind of reeling from that first strike, I'm gonna spin around this guy in between them, and then kind of, as I kind of keeping my eyes on him, I quickly spin around and throw a couple of punches at the one that's between myself and Cole.
Okay.
So unarmed strike. Oof.
Does not hit.
All right, I am gonna go all out. I'm gonna do a flurry of blows. Oh, come on.
That does not hit either.
And final one.
Roll 20. You kidding me?
Here we go.
14 hits. So that's 4 damage to that guy. Okay.
I'll stay there in between.
Okie doke. That brings us to you, Cole.
All right, I'm gonna, as the guy had pulled that haymaker punch to my head, I'm gonna grab his arm and just pull his whole body into my knee, into a knee and kick.
Okay. Yeah. So make an athletics check.
All right.
Yeah, that doesn't quite do it. Like, you try to pull and you just meet resistance. You're
Can
like,
I-
holy shit, this dude is
Anyone be
strong.
opposed to me using that reroll?
Well,
Go
you've
for
got to use it beforehand if memory serves. You got to choose to do it first.
Damn.
Yeah, you're right. It's not a reroll; it's an advantage.
It's a pre-roll.
Pre-declared advantage.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha then.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
Okay. You want to no key points, nothing else?
Yeah, I'm gonna do flurry of blows.
Okay. 14, I believe that's gonna hit. Let me look. Yes, that hits.
And he has to do a DC 11 save, dex save.
DC 11, dex save. Okay.
Damn it.
So he's not prone.
Ugh.
And that was the one that that attacked you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's going to bring us to their turn again.
You've
And-
got one more hit with flurry of blows.
I do?
Yeah, you get 2 punches with flurry of blows.
Oh,
that's what
okay.
makes it a flurry.
That's fair. Alright, so boom.
Does not
Down
hit.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
not hit.
Man.
Frickin' good that-
Even with these guys, like, they're just wearing hides, but they're just like straight ripped dudes. And like, you go to hit and you throw in and you just meet resistance of like muscle, and you're like, oh my god, these dudes are. What did I decide to do? Okie doke. So that guy, after you like tried to pull his arm and like come in and knee you, he starts laughing and takes a hammer fist, and he's just gonna come down on top of your head again. Does a 15 hit?
Yeah.
So 5 damage from that. He just big meaty, bam, top of the head. And let's see, that brings us to the other one, and he is going to Brand, as he saw you go for his comrade up there, he's gonna attempt to like clothesline you like from the side and try to kind of knock you out that way. So it's gonna be just like a melee attack and not a grapple. Pretty sure 20 takes you.
Oh yeah.
So he just like side clotheslines you, and just like you feel it hit your shoulder, and you can't quite dodge out of the way, and it does. You feel like your shoulder may be dislocated, but you're not sure. You kind of like. So 6 damage off that.
Yep.
All right, that brings us to Brand.
All right. I'm going to kick the one behind me who's fighting Cole. Focus fire over that direction.
15 hits.
Nice. Good hit.
Right.
7 damage. Okay.
Just kind of like kicking behind me and then swing my leg back down, dropping low into a defensive stance as I will do a patient defense
Okay.
facing off against the guy in front of me.
Okay. Cole, that brings us to you.
Shoot the glass. Anyone?
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yeah, sweep the
I'm
leg.
gonna actually try running up this guy and just kicking him right in the jaw. Do like a bicycle kick.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so make a acrobatics with advantage because this is cool. So yeah, you're able to run. You like you kind of crouch down, and you harness yourself, and you like you kick up, and then make your attack.
Alright, so 1d4.
Well, no, make an attack roll.
Oh, alright.
6 does not hit. So you run up and you make this really cool move, and then you as you go to kick, you push off too far, and you push yourself away from him, and the kick misses like the front of his face.
But it
Alright,
looked cool. So
And you
they-
push back, and you do land coolly, like 3-point superhero land stance on the ground. So
Alright.
you do get some style points for that.
I do have another unarmed strike, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and, recovering from that, do like a quick slide underneath him and punch up into the groin area. So,
Okey doke.
yeah.
That hits.
Yes.
That hits. Definitely hits. Damage. So yeah, you come down and then boom, uppercut right to the groin, and
Sack damage.
it's definitely sack damage. There is no padding there. It's straight to the giblets, and he makes that sound. He kind of grabs at himself, and he goes down a little bit there. Okay. It is their turn. So the one that you just got in the berries there, Cole, he is pretty mad now. So he is going to he's gonna stay where he's gonna move around you and kind of come to this side.
I'll take
And-
another lashing out kick at him as he goes.
Yep, go for it.
There you go, another 7.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, that 16 definitely hits. Okay. So he does that, and then he's going to attack you, Cole. "20 hits. 5 more. So as he comes around, he takes that hit from Bran, and he turns, and he left hand just crosses right through your face, and just catches you in the jaw, and you feel it. You may have lost a tooth. Roll me just roll 1d100.
Alright. 1d.
And before you do it, call higher. Never mind. Do it again, but call high or low.
Hi.
You lose 2 teeth.
Okay.
Like and you spit them out. Okie doke. The other guy is going to attack you, Brand. He sees you kick his buddy, and he's going to try to do like a double punch against you. He's gonna go for your chest and your head. It's gonna count as one attack, but it's
Yeah.
pretty sure
Come
that
on.
hits. Oh, you had patient defense though,
I did.
so that's at disadvantage, which is still a 22.
Yeah.
So it's gonna hit. So 7 damage to you from that. So he connects, and you just feel it like reverberate through you. 2 meaty paws just catching you.
Gotta live roll 20. Whew.
Man, you guys were dogging me about my rolls earlier, and look what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Don't taunt the DM.
How come that doesn't work in my game?
Brand, it is your turn.
Okay, since I clicked my boots of speed earlier, and they can last for up to 10 minutes, I'm going to move towards Cole and kind of do that roll across her back, so I land next to her on the other side.
Now, patient defense, does that mean you can leave without an attack of opportunity?
No, but the boots of speed mean they have disadvantage on opportunity
Okay,
attacks.
so he will get an attack, but it will be at disadvantage. Okay. 16.
16 hits.
Damn it.
So 5 damage.
I'm down.
I lean over to Tobias and Elvis. At what point do we make use of our weapons?
I would imagine we best prepare for that option. We got hopefully Cole can back up her mouth and be able to pull this off. But you got that arrow ready or that sword. I would best
My rapier
get
is
it.
loose.
Yeah, keep it loose. Keep it free.
So as you tried to roll over Cole's back, he gets this. He just goes to kick you and just happens to catch you in the back, and you just like gets you right in the kidney and just drops you. All right, so that's Cole. Your turn.
Okay.
Now, I guess I should have said every time you guys out, and this is a march thing that I'm doing. You each have one potion of healing wherever you go, so you do have a potion of healing.
All right. I'm gonna use my potion.
Yeah.
Use an action to pour it into Brand's mouth.
Yep. So
Like,
give me.
if I'd known that, I could have bonus action or put action to drink my own one on my turn, couldn't I?
Yeah, I'll let you
Before
go.
I did
We'll go
that.
back. I'll let you do that. We'll go back. We'll rewind that.
Sorry.
I should have. I forgot to clarify that from the beginning.
Okay, so I still lose that 5 though,
Yep.
which means I'll be on 3. And is it a action or bonus action?
It is a bonus action to chug a potion.
Okay, cool. Let's get over there. I won't be able to do any awesome key stuff, but at least I'm still standing and can try and finish off this guy we've been punching up. Just spinning over Cole's back, and then as I land, coming in for a uppercut.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
That hits. So as you roll over Cole's back, you land and you use kind of that energy and force to like spring yourself up, and you go for the uppercut, and you catch the dude in the bottom of the chin, and you feel it dislocate, and he just crumples and goes down.
Oh,
Yes.
this is a much better end of turn for me. Yeah.
Whole different
Hey,
ballgame.
this time, Tobias looks over at Weirdavar. It's like gives that like a little like this might work out, but still we're still in hot water. Look, it's like it's like this look a little better. He says in Elvish to Weirdavar.
Agreed. And I'll look around very confidently at the other barbarians.
And as you do look at them, they're looking back at you, and they're like a couple of them are a little worried. Like you get that sense of this isn't going how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
But the other half of them are like, I'm not scared. This is, yeah. So
I got that damn right you are look on my face.
Cole, it is your turn.
All right. I'm gonna use a key point. I want to try something. What is my jump normally?
It's
The height or
height or distance, yeah.
Height.
I don't know vertical distance. I only know horizontal distance. It's 5. It's 5 per 5.
It's like 3 feet plus your strength modifier, but you have the modifier if you don't have a run-up.
All right.
Let me see. So okay, here we go. You're doing a high jump, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump.
Perfect.
When you make a standing high jump, you can jump only half that distance.
I'm gonna run up to this guy who I believe is 10 feet away from me.
Yep.
And use a key point to do step of the wind, so it's double that. And then with my full body weight, just bringing it down from that height, I'm gonna elbow that guy right in the clavicle, right here.
Okie doke. Make,
Off the turnbuckle.
make your attack.
Shit.
No.
Damn it.
No,
I don't get bonus points for that being cool.
Nope. There's no advantage on this one. Yeah.
Alright. Then I'm gonna use my second unarmed strike attack to, I guess, land and miss. And I'm gonna punch this one in the giblies. So,
Worked well on the other guy.
damn it.
So he saw what was coming, and he's able to like dodge out of the way. He throws his hands down and blocks you from doing it. Okie doke.
Okay.
His turn. So Cole, he's going to move. No, he's going to stay there and attack you that way. He sees that Brand is on the other side of you. So as you went down to try to punch him there, he's actually going to try to knee you in the head.
Stop rolling well.
Gosh, I am
boy.
crushing these rolls. Um,
And our characters.
literally.
Yeah, guys, roll 20.
Yep. So, yeah, that's pretty ruthless. So 4 more damage to you on that one.
Yep.
So he knees you right in the head, and you feel a little dizzy coming off that one. And then it is Brand's turn.
Yes. I've still got some potions left over from previous adventures, luckily enough, so I'll quickly kind of, not wanting to show them that I'm healing up, I'll quickly chug one of those back. Just roll that again. Ooh, 4 points might not be enough.
It might be.
Thanks to my boots of speed, I'm going to sprint past this guy and take a just like running punch as I go past, and then I'm going to run out of his range again. I'm
Okay.
going to start using my speed to
Sure.
do this, like just darting past and punching me.
Sure. Okay. Make your attack. Yeah, that hits.
All right.
Yep, you've got a good punch on that one. So this is actually the first damage this guy's taken,
Yeah.
and he takes this, like, you Superman punch him on the way by, and you move out, and he like, you catch him in the lip, and it bleeds a little, and he does that thing where he like looks at his own blood and he starts to laugh, ha 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 ha, and he claps his hands together and he throws fists down, and he looks at you, Cole, and he just kind of like puffs up, and he keeps his hands down, and it's your turn.
All right, I'm gonna try to just unarmed strike. Just gonna go for like fake him out, like go for a right hook and then go left. Oh,
There
I
you
only
go.
did that
Yes.
Yeah, let's see damage on this bad boy.
one. All right, should I do the first or the second one? Because I only meant to do one.
The first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get the crit on the second unintentional. Okay, so yeah, that's a good hit. You fake him out with that, and you come across the other side, and you catch him.
And then I'm going to spend a key point to do flurry of blows.
Do it.
First one.
That hits.
Nice.
All right,
Damage.
right in the nose. Come on, click.
Yeah, that does. So you catch him in the nose, and you feel it crunch, and you see his eyes start to water a little bit.
And then I do another one.
Does not hit.
That first one connected though, so he still has to do me a DC Dex save of
Yep.
11.
That is true.
Yes!
So he goes
He
prone.
is prone!
Nice.
So this dude is gonna be prone. I'll use this to mark prone. Okie doke. So this guy is, as you hit him in the nose and his eyes start to water, he can't see, and he just kind of, boom, falls down on his hands and knees. And that brings us to him. So he'll spend half his movement to stand up. So he is back up. And he is going to, he looks over his shoulder to kind of see where you are, Brand. But he's gonna make another attack on Cole. So he wipes the water out of his eyes, and he just kind of he fakes a left jab at you, Cole, and then he comes in with like an overhead elbow.
Ah,
5 more.
fine.
You are a punching bag.
I love it. Let's do it more.
And that, so he comes down, just cracks you with the elbow, and it actually splits you open, and you start to bleed. And that brings us to you, Brand.
Yep, he's distracted, attacking Cole. So I'm having skidded to a stop at the edge of the circle. I just come sprinting up behind him and into the small of his back, just flurry of blows, just a bunch of hits.
Speed bag on the kidneys.
Yep, basically.
Okie doke.
So first attack,
Does not hit.
second attack.
Definitely hits.
Yes.
The crit. So 9 damage on that. Nice.
And the last attack will also miss. But hey, Got the crit in there.
At least we got a crit in there. Yeah.
So you come up and you miss the first. You're so excited, like I got this guy, and you miss, and then you catch him right in the kidney, in his right kidney, and then you go for the left again with your right hand and you miss, but he reels back, and his hands go up as he gets hit there, and his chest comes out toward you, Cole. And it is your turn, Cole.
All right, I'm gonna quickly chug a healing potion, which is what again?
2d4 plus 2.
All right, 2d4 plus 2. Thank God.
That was good. That was good.
That was max heal, yeah.
All right, and then since his chest is puffed out towards me from the punch, I'm just gonna go flat palm straight to the solar plexus.
Nice. 13. That actually hits.
Yes.
Nice.
13 hits
Boom.
for 6 damage. Okay.
All
So
right,
yeah,
and
as his
then-
chest is out, you catch him in the solar plexus. Now he goes the other way. He goes as you knock the wind out of him, and he's staggering.
and
Caught
as,
between the two monks, just punching him
Yeah.
from either side.
so cool. As he does that, I'm gonna grab his head for another unarmed strike and just headbutt him, just smash really hard on that broken nose.
You only get.
I get 2 underarm strikes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Damn,
This does not hit though.
that's fine.
All right.
I guess instead of headbutting, I gingerly kiss his nose.
You brush the sides of your head brush each other, ever so gently, and he's kind of into it now. So he is completely disoriented at this point, and he's trying to shake it off, and he knows he's getting beaten from front and the back. So he's gonna look at you, Cole, and act like he's gonna do it, but he's gonna try to throw a back elbow at you, Brand. And
Dodge and attack one of these days.
it's gonna hit.
Not that one though.
19 hits.
Yeah.
4 damage from that. So he turns, you buy the fake, and he catches you with the elbow. And that brings us to you, Brand.
Right, I'm all out of key points, so it's just a matter of laying in some. My punches have started slowing down, but just gonna keep going. All right.
Yeah, that hits. And tell me how you take him down.
Yes.
Yes.
Just to see if the second one. Oh, second one probably didn't. But
Second one would have hit too.
oh, excellent. He turns around, goes for the elbow, kind of cracks Brand across the face, and then just pulling back from that, another just punch straight across the jaw, and then while he's spinning from that, another punch into the kidney as he's spinning away.
And yeah, he just and he crumples down. And with that, your barbarians
Well
are
done indeed.
down.
Oh, very nice.
And as these two guys are laying on the ground unconscious, the leader walks up, and he looks at both of you. And Mirdavar, you and Tobias have come over, kind of to the middle. Very proud of your comrades here having taken down their 2 best fighters, and he looks at you and he says, "I see you have bested my best. You are obviously good fighters."
And they were very worthy adversaries.
And he turns and he looks to his people, and he says something that Tobias, you catch roughly, says, "You should learn how to fight better." And he says, "Our agreement, I will abide. You are free to go. But I would advise, do not come into our lands, do not hunt our forests, do not take our wood. For while I am one clan, I do not speak for them all. And I cannot, will not I cannot say what the others will do. I cannot protect you. I cannot honor our agreement for them.
Much appreciated. We will make our way out. The wagon will be leaving in the morning, and as I said, we appreciate this, and we do not mean to invade and dominate your lands. So we will be taking leave in the morning. Maybe in the future, our groups can work together at some point.
I do not know what we could work together toward, except staying apart.
Very well. Shall we get a start on that now then?
Yep.
Yes, we should.
I'll kind of limp over and pick up my longsword.
I'm gonna go over to Brand and throw my arm around his shoulder and be like, "You see the crowd that we drew? That's how you put on a show."
Quite exhilarating, yes.
I guess Tobias will be following up, and kind of walks up next to Mirdavar. It's like, yeah, that was it was quite a show. It looks like I could definitely see why Lord Wayland trusts these two, and so hopefully,
Yes, indeed.
we can get to that point. We can get at that point in the near future.
I will never bet against Cole again.
Do you say that loud enough for her to hear it?
I bet with you earlier, but I must say I was concerned.
So they.
Yes, I do say it loud enough.
Okay.
Yes.
They let you go, and they go and kind of tend to their people, and you go and start to make your way back. It's cold and it's dark, and yeah, you've probably got a 6 mile hike back out.
Blood's pumping, keeping me warm.
I still have a healing potion. Would either of you need to make use of it?
Nah, I'm good.
Let's
Friends?
just get back to camp.
Very well.
Have
So-
some more of Tobias's stew.
So yeah, you guys the whole way back, you're like chatting and like eventually the high of the adrenaline kind of brings you down, and your sweat starts to freeze, and you start to get a little chilly. Brand Cole, you obviously don't. Mirdavar and Tobias, you are properly dressed in warm clothing and do not have any issues. I need everyone to make me perception checks.
I'm very wary.
Yeah, everyone but Cole, you see up above you circling a giant red dragon. I'm just kidding.
I knew it.
Two red dragon.
You don't see it. There's nothing. It's perfectly clear. The moon is out. It's a really pretty night, and there's literally nothing around you. You make your way back, and you get to the line. You come back in around 87, or do you guys want to try to cut the distance over and head back to your?
I think we should go back to Wayland's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
we'd be heading back to Lord Wayland's tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mirdavar, you kind of, with the help of Tobias, because it's in the dark, unless you guys want to light torches, but still, like seeing fairly far out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think at this point, Cole would just like ignite her hair so she's a walking torch.
Okay. So yeah, that gives you like 30 feet, and then Mirdavar, you can see out past that, and Tobias has kind of helped orient you, like, no, you need to go this way, and get you back, and you
Very
come
good.
up to the line. The sentries come up, and the scouts pick you up before you get anywhere near it, and you get back, and you go to speak to Wayland. It's late. It's probably at this point like 9 o'clock, but he's still up. So they part the thing, and all four of you go in. And he's there, and there's like a big map, and he's talking to advisors, and he hears you all being announced, and he says, yes. So tell me the news. What are we dealing with?
Well, my
Yes.
lord, I'm Still recovering from a few injuries. I'll let our two new allies, two new wagon mates, I'll let them fill you in on our deeds this evening.
And so Tobias, still not forgetting his military background, kind of snaps a little bit to attention because as he's obviously in his commanding officer's tent, he gives the report. It's like, Lord Wayland, we encountered the raiding party that had attacked our Wagon 87. They seems to be that they are just indigenous clansmen of this area, but they are not too. They don't take too kindly to outsiders. We barely made it out of there alive, but we were able to secure an agreement of passage. I told the clan leader that the wagon will be leaving in the morning and that we will not be passing through this lands again. While the force that we saw was about 20 strong, but I got the notion from the clan leader that this was just a small party of his much larger clan. So.
Very good. And he looks at you, Mirdavar, and he says, I do not believe we've had the pleasure of meeting.
No, we have not, my lord. Mirdavar Valerian. I kind of bow and offer my hand.
He says, well met, and he shakes it. He says, anything to add to Tobias's report?
Tobias described everything as it happened, but I would like to make it clear that Cole and Brand stepped up and added a bit to the negotiation and put themselves on the line on your behalf, sir. And you're to be proud of their effort. It was by their hand that we were spared and able to make our way back here with our dignity and an agreement to pass quickly through these lands.
So what are the full details, Master Valerian, of this agreement?
Yes, sir. So it came to a test of strength. We attempted to negotiate. They didn't speak common very clearly. And Cole, in her wisdom, in fact, thought perhaps strength and feats of fisticuffs might be the best currency. And so Brand and Cole agreed to put themselves out as the best fighters of the caravan and proved themselves in a hand-to-hand combat and bested the two finest warriors of this clan, and so secured our passage.
Interesting form of negotiation.
Not what I would have chosen, but I'm not versed in the ways of the wild, and it proved to be the best course.
Approaching a group of 20, I would have assumed you would have done some recon. However, fair enough. To each their own, you may not have had that opportunity. I wasn't there, I can't say.
It was dark.
And he kind of laughs, he chuckles. He goes, as it does at night. Very well. Very well. Well done, well met. Yes, we will disseminate this information. I can't imagine that I want to get into a pissing match with a bunch of barbarians. That doesn't sound like something that I want to get into. So we will hurry. We will break camp immediately in the morning. Please go ahead along your way back. Inform whoever is awake that pack up quickly in the morning and get everything going. At daybreak, I want to be gone.
I just want to make one thing abundantly clear, sir.
Yes.
We are not to cut down their trees, we are not to hunt their game, and we are not to fish in their rivers. And for God's sakes, don't try to talk your way out of it.
Fair enough. Would it behoove us to learn more of their language to attempt conversation, or are they not of the discussion type?
Well, I think you'd have to use Tobias's knowledge here. He can speak to them far better than I can.
We did try to parlay and negotiate, but they're content the way they live. They didn't see anything we could give them of value. So while we would want to be on good relations as their lands span far and wide, it would be difficult to find something that we could give them that they don't already have.
We just got raided. Thank you, guys. we're right at the end, so but appreciate it. Master Tobias,
Sir.
do you feel that it would behoove us to learn more of their language to try to negotiate, or does this seem to be a group that is past that? Do they not understand? Do they not care?
It seems that, as from my understanding of what their clan leaders explained to us, their lands are pretty far-reaching. He explained that they reach from the spines all the way to the water. So I would imagine if we are to settle Frostvarden for quite some time, it would be best that we try to make peace with our neighbors, or at least come to an agreement. I can I could try to explain the knowledge of the words that I've picked up to whomever you'd like, and work with you all with that. But I would definitely say we should try to at least understand their language, or at least at some point try to come to an agreement to be mutual beneficiary to all of us, because they are far-reaching, and he made it clear that there are other clans of his people that may or may not share the same ideologies as he does, and so we best try to protect ourselves any way we can.
I will say this then. Why don't you draft up something tomorrow on the road to disseminate to all of the wagons, to let them know that these are the current terms, and should we approach any other clans, should we have run-ins, that we agreed to these terms with this clan. They may not agree to it, however, it is something that we could start with. I do not wish to engage with them unless we have to, it seems. I think the best way to handle these neighbors is to be as far away from them as possible. So let us get on the road in the morning. Please tell all of the wagons you come across, and I will tell the rest of my staff to disseminate as well, that we will break camp immediately. No fires in the morning, no food we will eat on the road. And with that, he kind of like claps his hands, says, "Thank you all for what you've done." Again, Cole and Brand, you seem to rise to the occasion, and it seems that with your help, these other two have grown in ranks. Master Tobias negotiating with a barbarian warlord, that is not something that is very easy. I don't know how I would have done that situation. So, thank you all. And
Their accomplishments have nothing to do with us, sir. We'd be dead if it wasn't for Mirdavar and for Tobias.
Understood. However, it is late, and as much as I would like to talk, I still have much to plan. So, good night to you, and we will get ready in the morning.
Very well, my lord.
Good night.
As you wish, sir.
And with that, we will bring this march to a close. So, thank you guys. We ran a little later there due to the glorious sidetrack, but yeah. For anyone still watching, this is we are on Castle Mac's channel. This is the Mac Marches. We are a group of community members of Castle Mac that get to play in their sandbox. So myself and a couple other people run games, and it's just a West Marches style D&D campaign where we are moving along the Sword Coast up to the Keep Frostvarden, to re-inhabit it. So we are along the way, and this is season 2 we're starting, and we're going to do one game a month, and if Steven wants to run a game, he'll jump in and run one. So away we go. So let's go ahead and launch a raid, and thank you for raiding us. Welcome party, we appreciate it.
Thanks, raiders.
Too bad it was right here at the end, but yeah, we are going to launch a raid ourselves, and we are out. So thank you for joining us, and see you soon.
you.